everyone, Pun here. Pun on Let's Play Games React to stuff. Like some of those things, or plays a lot of gacha? Well, I gotcha covered. And today on a wonderful day with the word of reactions, that makes no sense, we are going to be reacting to the Nikke summer event supposed to be a nothing burger. It wasn't, by Aizen. So, quick thing. This thing, I agree with this one heavily because in this summer event, it was heavily hinted that there was something else going on. Now, this was done by Kid Hard Mode, so if there's any hard mode context missing, which honestly there really isn't, we'll be talking about it. But yeah, if you like what you saw today, this is stream live on Twitch, pun_NE at twitch.com. Link to this said Twitch channel will be located in the description below. With that in mind, let's check it out. Pop!
The summer event has finally come to a close.
Come. Okay, shutting up.
While it ended in a high positive...
Why do you have that? Hang on. I'm gonna kind of expose Aizen real quick here. Aizen? We need to have a chat. Aizen? I see that little picture there. You ain't slick. What was that picture over there, Aizen? Aizen, why you got Cindy on the bit? Yeah, based.
We get to play around. Note there were some themes that happened, things that occurred prior to that makes you wonder why they included in the event in the first place. Now, obviously, they want to build up to the story of Hansel and Gretel. There was
maybe I can kind of see it, but why Hansel and Gretel there? Maybe we'll see.
Really much about them. They mentioned them a little bit in the beginning of the event. Honestly, I can't lie. If it wasn't for Cindy fans like busting a nut every 5 seconds or the events I'm about to tell you in this video happening, this event was kind of a nothing burger. Yeah. But what was especially intriguing was the Land Eater. The implications of the Land Eater.
Yeah.
Why the Land Eater was there in the island in the first place. What was it doing there? Why would humans, let's assume, most likely VTC researchers, even though it was explicitly stated that they've never seen technology or I'm assuming architecture like that before.
Yeah. By the way, I love the little sensor work they put right here. Genius.
Maybe not VTC, but maybe remnants of VTC, maybe.
I'll go over here because his hand moves there.
But anyways, let's say it was VTC, this human civilization that lived on this island, that found refuge. If they were the ones that trapped this giant rapture, managed to trap this thing underground, maybe by luring it, then what was the reason for doing so? I mean,
so here's the thing. I don't think it's VTC. I think this is a heavy hint that maybe Shift was saying that maybe raptures were here beforehand. Like maybe during ancient times they were already here and VTC just happened to discover them. We'll see though. Also, little note here, I am going to say here, I will be switching back and forth just to make sure, because I noticed that they're kind of to the right here, so I will be, when they have their little hands there, I will be showing them there. We'll see. But yeah, I don't think about that, but yeah, the Land Eater is very interesting. I agree.
This is a tremendous effort to be able to do this. This is unbelievable. This doesn't just require Nikkes. This requires building capabilities that are equivalent to building.
Okay, Aizen, I know how you did this, but having litter with this little hand gesture like this makes her think that VTC is involved in creating the Raptures and the Queen. Yeah, I agree on that one, Commander. I agree. But I gotta say this. Litter with that pose doesn't look like this. Doesn't look like it says a slay queen. You know, like little hand gestures, like you go, girl, you slay queen. Like she's supposed to be petting the dog, but and looks like she's saying, "Oh, hey, queen."
The arc in a couple of days, right? Whatever, however they built the arc, whether it be by the Harmony Cube, there is a tremendous amount of energy and resources that were required to build this around that giant rapture.
I read somewhere that when a giant creature starts to wake up, offering it a sacrifice can calm it.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Jeff?
Yes.
You know it's gonna be.
Yes, we were all thinking that during the event. Yes, the penguin. I'm sorry, penguin. It is your time.
Good when you see this.
I wonder if this turtle-looking thing at the bottom is the Island Eater.
This doesn't give me the vibes that it's Hansel and Gretel's doing, but it could be because it's been so long.
The Island
island eater seems to be anchored to the seafloor.
Yeah.
I turn my attention toward the machine. Up close, it's an extremely unusual piece of machinery.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this on the Ark.
Wait, is this the one that had the voice glitch? Oh no, please don't show the voice glitch. No, don't. This was this total, not the voice glitch. If you know, you know. Please don't show the voice glitch. Please, Eisen, don't. This totally throws you out.
Or the surface.
This is my first time seeing something like it too.
It can't be deep
Okay,
technology. Good. No, we said it. We've never seen it in the Ark. Rappy has never seen anything like it either. Have you ever seen so few polls after a disastrous polling session with a limited banner? Well, there might be some hope from today's sponsor, Loot Bar. It's a top-up website that lets you purchase in-game packs at lower prices than the standard in-game store. The process is simple.
I don't know how
Click
good it
my
is.
link in the pinned comment or description, select your game, pick your pack, and enter the code Eisen at purchase, and there we are. Loot Bar states delivery is typically within 30 minutes or less, so you can get right back to your gambling addiction ASAP. Also, if you're looking to grab some hot Steam titles like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which just came out recently, definitely check out Loot Bar. You can get up to 80% off with instant delivery and easy self-service activation. They also offer 7-day after-sale support.
I actually
and
use
a
somebody
secure
else for my game
transaction
purchase.
process. It's got a solid user
That's LD
base
shop?
and
Okay, no
positive
problem, no
reviews
problem.
on Trustpilot if you want to verify before committing to anything. And hey, if you're already spending on Nikke, which, if you're watching a video this deep into a schizo theory, you probably are, Loot Bar is just a way to make that spending hurt a little less. Links in the description and pinned comment, and remember, use code Eisen for 10% off.
For
Thanks
new
to Loot
users.
Bar. Now back to the video. What could this whole contraption be? Oh man, this is weird. The Land Eater, how big is the core on the Land Eater? Is it a pretty large core? Are they trying to make an ultra massive core from this thing? Or they tried, but they failed? A prototype of the Ark using the Land Eater? That's what I mean when I say maybe they're using the core of the Land Eater to act as like a pseudo ultra massive core. I don't know how much power a Land Eater emits, but because it's so large, it has to be quite a bit. VTC creating Raptures is still not confirmed. Also, the Land Eater is most likely post-invasion because I doubt it would survive without food if it was first gen. Gen 1 Raptors need biomass, any biomass, not necessarily human. So you think that it could be
Okay, so yeah, he is talking about the chat in this one. We're kind of looking at this one.
true that this was a Gen 1
So we'll
Raptor,
kind of look
but they
into this
fed it
one,
like
yeah.
trees and fish or something. Maybe they had like a stream of water go into its mouth and it was just like a bunch of krill. Initially, we thought that's what the whirlpools were for. They would collect fish or whatever bioorganism mass, stream it down to the mouth of the Land Eater down there and feed it energy. Turns out, just from the explanations that Cinderella and friends gave, it seems that the conclusion was that it was simply vibrating. The Land Eater was vibrating so much that it was causing a disturbance around the area.
Okay, so I was gonna say, because that wouldn't make any sense, because I don't think it would be bio, because there was no feeding tube with the turtle. If I remember correctly, there was no feeding tube with it, and I'm not explicitly sure there was no like feeding tube. So yeah, I don't see how that would work.
Physics-wise, doesn't really make much sense why it would do that, but we'll go with that for now. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
this is where Sue and Mike.
I mean, well, okay, I'm no earth biologist or anything, so keep this with a grain of salt. Do earthquakes cause whirlpools? I don't think so. No, earthquakes would cause tidal waves. So yeah, that wouldn't make any sense. Never mind. I just thought of that. Yeah, because they would call tidal waves. They wouldn't cause that.
Come in handy. Be like, dude, do you know anything? Yo, go talk to your sister.
Yeah, I was also
Telling you, fed
whaley with something, and that changes color. Maybe on your air change the exterior to the sea creatures and island vegetation. That could work.
Whaley with something, and that changed her color. Maybe Island Eater changed its exterior due to eating sea
I do like the
creatures
incorporation with the chat and stuff like that. I do like this.
and island vegetation. I'd like to think this is Gen 1, but we have no proof whatsoever. We have nothing. But the biggest evidence that we have is exactly what you said in that dono, is that the Island Eater looks like what it consumes, which
Yeah, true.
Which doesn't happen.
You are what you eat, apparently, yeah.
For Gen 2 Raptures and onward. I think the island is using the power of the Land Eater to power the Disruptor, for the sole reason to hinder other Raptures. Notice I didn't find any Raptors in the
That's actually very true. I never thought of this. That's true. Yeah, we never did find a lot of Raptors in the island. And for some reason, that Pacific Raptor was disrupting Cindy's bubble. Siren's bubbles. Siren's bubbles aren't dark matter, right? They're something else. They're a different material entirely. They're liquid something. Can't remember the name. Liquid metal? Or something like she describes what her bubbles are. Spindrift. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah. Liquid metal. Bingo. Thank you. Yeah, so interesting.
island. Is it a weapon or is it just to keep the civilization on the island safe? Because if it's a weapon, then the lighthouse doesn't make much sense. Some viewers started to notice that there weren't any Raptures on the island,
True.
which suggests that maybe the Land Eater was used as a power source, just as we discussed, to power on the Disruptor capabilities of the island to stave off Raptures.
Kind of like how Rapunzel's hair. So basically like a more broader version of Rapunzel's hair, because you remember Rapunzel's hair, it kind of does the same thing.
Make him say, hey, this is off limits. Maybe it mimicked a...
I'm going to show it, chat. You're welcome. Moving on. Anyway.
heretic or something, some sort of heretic frequency to say, hey, you're not supposed to be here. That was...
Really? A Skyrim reference? You're welcome. You're welcome. Really? A Skyrim reference?
One of the theories, and that is also very, very plausible. If you think about why the Land Eater was there in the first place, it was probably given the command to destroy whatever. So maybe because it was there for so long, it forgot the command, and it's like, oh, whatever, see ya. Maybe it couldn't update it.
Oh, wait, okay. Hang on, this is a funny one. Maybe it could update Windows OS, and now the Queen commands are compatible with... Ah! This is funny on so many levels because what? Is it running on Windows 11? Okay, I'll shut up.
It's Windows OS, and now the Queen's commands are compatible with it. No commands to heed when comatose. But is that how it works for a machine? If you give a command to something, and then it gets forcibly trapped, I imagine as soon as it's set free, like a Roomba. If you tell a Roomba to like clean a room, and then you like hold it up, it might get like bugged out, but there's a chance that you put it back down that it continues to clean the room. Like,
well, okay, counterpoint to that. Counterpoint that. I can actually say this because that theory does hold some water. A counterpoint to this I will say about this. Take the same Roomba idea, right? Take the same Roomba idea. Roomba has firmware updates. Okay? It's possible that if you don't give it enough firmware updates, if there's a new command that's supposed to process, but it doesn't have the right firmware update to process, the Roomba wouldn't work. So that theory does hold water. Because it could be possible that if the Queen was sending an order of a new format and the Rapture didn't get the quote-unquote update, that could work. Because essentially we don't know how exactly our Raptures work. We learn from Reptilian that they mimic animal stuff, but we don't know exactly how they work.
it gets disrupted, but then it just continues onward. Do their animal instincts come first over a direct order from the Queen then? No, right? Absolutely an order comes first. An order takes priority before Rapture animal instincts to run.
Yes, but explain Whaley. Because if that's the case, they should have done the Queen's order, but they didn't. They're listening to Reptilian.
Away. I've never seen a Rapture avoid a fight. Yeah, that's what I'm confused about.
Reptilian
Heretics,
has.
Yes.
Reptilian has, definitely. Reptilian has Whaley has. Whaley's definitely avoided fights. I think Whaley even said multiple times that they don't want to go into areas that are dangerous because they're scared of it. I think even Reptilian's hinted at that.
The more intelligent ones, yes. Even Gluttony, if I remember, had one case of kind of like being weird. But like a normal raptor.
Yeah, Gluttony did. Gluttony did. Gluttony was the one where I think it was when they were battling only one. Basically, the Gluttony was like, okay, screw this, and just yeeted out of there.
Like this, I don't know if you can call this normal. They fight till the death. They're here to destroy, even if they're gonna lose overwhelmingly. They never run. It's been so long that it kind of messed up its framework of thinking. Its original goals has been disrupted itself, so it's become more of just like a neutral animal who just wants to live. And until it
Mama, where did I go, Mama? Ooh.
Receives further orders, it'll continue to do that.
Then I was to go beep myself.
Like Gluttony is. Gluttony purely operates from instincts. It's just an animal that wants to consume. That's all it is.
I wonder if we're ever going to ally ourselves with Gluttony. Because if we could communicate with it, it could turn on the queen. Because it's heavily instated. I think it's heavily instated. That's in the Reddit instinct. It's not really on the queen's side. It just happens to be a means to end.
Below Heretic has not avoided a fight. Yeah, even the smallest things. Like, these things are meant to die for the cause. And so for a non-heretic rapture to turn tail and run away, a big one at that, is a first. It is the first time in Nikke history. Another explanation is that now the queen has evolved into Lillivice, right? She is no longer the old 001 queen. She is still that same person, but now that she has moved on to level 2, her next generation, that older raptures can no longer hear the new queen.
Yes, I agree with this 100%. This has always been my theory. And I've even said this back in the chapter when I noticed this. In the chapters, it was very heavily shown that it looked like in a scene, new raptures were fighting old raptures, like cleansing the land. Because it was a scene where the raptures got destroyed, and then the new raptures popped up. But yeah, that's definitely a thought.
Because of the updates, right? They haven't received the updates themselves because they're either so far away or so outdated that they're left behind in the dust. It could be that, or it could be that this land eater got a directive to hurry back towards the lift where they're building the new raptures to dismantle itself or to renovate itself into the new rapture faction, into
True, because if you remember
a new gen rapture. It could be that as well. We don't.
Yeah, it could be that as well, because here's the thing. Remember how it ended? The Rapture did not want to fight with us. It just left and it was going somewhere. Remember, it's still loose out there, but they don't know exactly where.
Don't really know where it's sailing. It didn't say, besides the fact that it's moving steadily, which also doesn't give the impression.
I forgot that was the ending CG for that. I might take that for a thumbnail.
That it's running away. It's like, okay, finally I'm free. Let's start going. I'm going to get moving. I'm going to take my time to get there because I'm going to get dismantled or whatever it is. That would make sense. A lot of the old raptures right now are essentially being eaten up to become fodder for the new ones or to just become the new ones themselves. I don't really know which one it is there. So that may be the case. Now it's time for extra schizo moment. The part of the video where it really starts to get weird. Like, the developers are now reaching into the depths of making this story as confusing as possible.
All right, let's see.
In the first part of the event, it mentions that there are murals, one of them depicting a civilization, or maybe not civilization, a group of people holding up swords. Now, there's no way this is referring to any Nikkes holding swords, because as far as we know, there's only been one squad in the history of Nikkes that have used swords to do anything. Right?
That lovely one,
Scarlet
yeah.
and Rose's squad. It can't be Nikkes, which gives us the impression that this is something far older than that. When you see old photos or depictions of peoples with swords rather than guns, usually you connect that with an older civilization. You don't connect that with anything modern. So I'm assuming the message that they're trying to convey here, if you're a writer, is that this was perhaps once a civilization that was really old, and that they used this technology that they found or they created themselves to stave off raptures. Now, that's what's even weirder, is that if this civilization is that old, that means raptures are also that old. How could this rapture exist back then if they, well, weren't around, if the rapture invasion hadn't happened yet?
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, this was a very huge thing. So this is why I'm thinking that maybe raptures were around for a very long while, and the rapture invasion wasn't actually an invasion. They were here all along. They just happened to gather at one spot.
This is what makes it so confusing. Are these two connected? Is the machine blueprint and the murals found on the island
And it had to be
in
connected.
any way? Or are they completely separate? Why on earth would they be separate? Why would the writers confuse us even more? Why would there be depictions of people with swords, but then be related to rapture technology, which is considered to be relatively new, right? Within the last 100 or so years, maybe 150 at most? I don't know about 200. Could this be evidence that raptures existed before all the VTC stuff? Now, we don't know for sure VTC were the ones that created the raptures. We have a lot of evidence suggesting that they created the lift.
Yeah, the reports.
But
Yeah,
that
this
doesn't
is
mean
so. For those who don't
They
know,
created
there's gonna be scrolling through this little thing right here. New reports. This is from chapter 43 or 44, I think.
the original raptures. That doesn't mean they created the queen. We still don't know about that for sure. This is evidence, maybe not the best evidence, that raptures existed before that. Raptures were just roaming the earth, maybe as just like friendly creatures, just chilling out. And humans, as evil as we usually are, you know, especially in a game like this, depicted as evil things, decide.
Yeah, keep in mind, capitalize on that. We are the only, the commander is supposed to be like an iota. An anomaly. Remember, we are an anomaly, essentially.
To use them as energy, and this is a perfect case of it. In fact, the Ark is also a perfect case. We always wonder where that rapture core came from. What if that core was like part of the god of raptures or something, you know? Totally off base. But let me indulge in this for a second. What if
Nah, I'm backing up for a minute there. I'm calling you out on this. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. The background image. The background image. If you know where this event's from, you know. The pure disgust is hilarious. Thank you.
a second, what if that rapture core was one of the major leaders of the rapture faction, and we just took it for ourselves to have it become our energy, to power the Ark, right? To power whatever it was that we wanted to power before the Ark even. That VTC was so much of an evil organization that that's what they did. And then of course the raptures would become angry with the human race. Yeah, of course, if you kill their leader and take their stuff and use it as your own energy, use it for your own good, yeah, of course you're gonna get angry. Well, who wouldn't? And then the VTC and central government dub it as the rapture invasion, when it really is just the rapture retaliation. Anyways,
yeah,
again,
that's what I'm saying. I think the raptures were here all because if that rapture was there like they're saying they were, if it was there like everybody's stating, that would make so much more sense that the rapture was there since iota. That was there since the day one. Like, it would make more sense because it doesn't make any sense that the rapture is an alien invasion. There's too many like red flags. Like, number one, how can it be a rapture invasion if they're so compatible with Nikke's? Because Nikke's are human brains. Why are they compatible with humans? That doesn't make any bloody sense. But if the raptures were growing alongside humans, then it makes way more sense how they'd be compatible with Nikke's. Or you know what I mean? Yeah.
But it is so interesting that now, in this random summer event full of goodies, full of just the best stuff ever, they sneak little bits like this in. Just slide it in the DMs, right? To make us second guess ourselves. Wait a minute, I thought the raptures were relatively new. I thought there was a sequence of things. VTC, Lift, raptures. Turns out, maybe not. We don't have any definitive proof of any of this, but it sure makes you wonder, man, why would the devs put this in here? Why would they slide this in here? This isn't some one-off event either. This is a major event.
Okay, so use the center footage,
major characters, right? Commander, Rappy, that's 2 protagonists. Cinderella. They slid this in thinking people might not notice, but man, it will not get past us, right? Genuinely weird stuff, and it flips everything. The history of this game will flip if we realize that raptures existed way before. Then the whole rapture invasion thing wouldn't make sense, because rapture invasion suggests that they appeared then, but no, they were there the whole time. We'll see. Again, we don't know anything. Once again, thanks to Loopbar. Remember that they aren't officially affiliated with Nikke, so use your own judgment, same as you would with any third-party top-up site.
Yeah, it's true.
Thanks for watching the video. Have a good one.
Thank you.
The
All right. So, we're gonna leave ourselves a lovely screen. I'm gonna make sure this works. Yes, it works. Okay, good. Okay. So my thoughts about this. Let me put myself. I agree with most of everything in this video. I think some of the chat did too. Here's my thing about it. I definitely believe the raptures have been here for longer. It doesn't make any sense. I've said it in the video. It doesn't make any sense because my theory is that how are humans compare with nanomachines? Why are we able to turn human women into Nikkes? That doesn't make any sense. Now you can say, oh, so blah 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 blah. No, that doesn't make any sense. But if you were to tell me, oh, well, raptures were here before, they were like here for a while, it would make sense how the compatibility works, because then you could say, okay, well, if they were evolving alongside humans, then yes, that would make a lot of sense. It would make a lot more sense in the fact that, hey, they would understand the compatibility is what I'm saying. But yeah, I agree with a lot of stuff in this video. This was a very good video, as I always, Eisen. I always love watching your videos. Definitely go support him again by leaving a like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell on their video. And do the same here if you want to see more of these stuff like that. I am trying to put up videos at a daily rate, and I'll definitely be posting more and more when I get there. But yeah, as you saw, this is stream live on Twitch. Pine_Gurney at twitch.com. Streams are posted on Twitter, YouTube Gaming app, and Twitch itself. With that in mind, I'll see y'all next time. Peace. Bye bye bye.